Hello guys, Lim Dexter. Welcome to this video. So today I want to go over how to really be very selective with your trades. And most recently, I was in the last 3 months, we are having at least about 20 plays that's potentially to be profitable. So how to really become very selective and also be able to pick the right trades and not taking unnecessary losses. Those are my personal experience I want to share with you guys after trading the last 2 months. Let's get into it. So the first one we have is CJET, and this one it was an IPO play, and the problem with IPO play is the extension range. Most recently we had a couple. One is CWD, one is MGRM. Those tickers, they all went parabolic into the second day, and they all dropped pretty aggressively after the momentum has shifted. So for CJET, first of all, total extension went from, I would say, 4 to 8. And in the morning, it was trading in very sufficient enough volume. So this is considered to be the first green day, not considered to be the second green day. And typically, you do not want to short if the stock goes parabolic like this and trades sufficient enough volume. So in the first, I would say an hour, traded majority of the volume, traded 14 million shares, and it didn't really form any type of top in the pre-market. You break through the top of the pre-market, consolidate only for half an hour, and came all the way back down. Typically, when the stock gets crowded, you should offer a bounce back up to 7, then shifts by the end of the day. First of all, is for these type of gap up short, they do not qualify as a gap up short. It went up on the mark of 70%. Typically, when you're looking to short an IPO, extension range has to be much more aggressive. That's number one. Also believe CJET was relatively easy to borrow as well. So first of all, you'd only have half an hour consolidations. Second, no pre-market top. That shows you to be able to manage your risk. The only candle that potentially can be risk of is the fake breakout around 840, shorting around 770, risking 50 cents on $8 stock. I don't think it's very bad, but you didn't really show enough convictions, not enough consolidations. Number two, the range itself, it's barely 100%, not even 100%. So that's why I didn't really short this one. Turns out after the momentum shifted, typically you do want to short into a bounce, maybe bounce back to $7.50, $7 risking $7.50. These are decent trades to be able to, I would say, much easier to manage. But for CJET, easy to borrow, crowded, not enough range, did not touch it. That's for CJET. Then we go ahead have FRZA. Now this one was still scratching my head about this one. First of all, we have resistance that was formed in November. I traded about 50 million, so that's I would say solid resistance up in around 2.7. It formed consolidation in that day, so it's really easy to spot the resistance. Number two is you look at right after market open, it went through the resistance, came back all the way down to 250. It went under the resistance that formed in November. Majority of the time, that if the stock trades less than $2 and it trades, I would say 70 to 80 million volume throughout the day, their fading percentage gets reduced to 50% instead of 75%, which is around 1.6. And came all the way back up to the 3.5. Majority of the time, whenever you are shorting a bounce short, that's a non-biotech play. Generally, they fade after form of consolidation into this fake out, but it came all the way back again around 3.2. So the overall chart action, it did not spike really aggressively, but in terms of the price action, this one should have faded by the end of the day. I guess the volume was overwhelming. So in the future wise, if the volume estimate doubles compared to the resistance volume, then the chart is going to behave really weird. Future-wise, that the pre-market volume estimate equals twice as the resistance volume, I would be very careful picking your entry and always wait for consolidations. Either do not try to short after market open into those small push, because if they're crowded, they always push about 20 to 30% after the market open compared to the open price before the momentum is shifting to the downside. Then go ahead, tomorrow we have BAOS. This one doesn't have any type of resistance. Now, I also believe this is a micro flow as well. Formed the resistance around 8. Now, this is one of the chart you guys, I would say everybody is mistaken where the resistance is. So let me go through the entire chart. Majority of the time, whenever people are trying to find the resistance to short, they always pick the bottom with the consolidations. So let's say the stock shifted its momentum and it consolidated around 9 to 8. These type of consolidations, they do not qualify as resistance, even for the ticker that's traded sufficient volume, because they are already faded enough. It's above the neutralized area, that's the maximum they can fade. And whenever the stock comes all the way back, you do not use that as a resistance at all, because typically when the ticker goes up 1000% and fades 99% from the top, majority of the time that stock comes back really aggressive. Because if you think about in terms of the trader psychology, if the stock loses 99% from the top and the only people left will be the very stubborn buyers, and they're not likely to sell unless the stock goes to zero or gets delisted. So they are down 99%. So what's the difference between down 99% to 99.5%? When the stock fades 99% from the top and those aggressive buyers becomes, the ultimate backholders and they're willing to hold forever, these type of tickers do come back really aggressively and does a bunch of short squeezes before the momentum is shifting to the downside. On BAOS, I would be really careful. Also, it's a Chinese play. We just had TOP that was very manipulated. Going forward, be very careful with those low float IPO tickers that fades 90% from the top. So that'll be the recap for this week. Let me know if you have any questions. Please leave a comment below. Also, make sure to click the like button and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one.